Ciaran, back again for another big fight in the Tree Arena. You must be getting used to it at this stage, having another big fight here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's seventh one here now. So, yeah, it's just becoming very familiar. It's actually nice to get to this hotel and just change it up a bit. You know what I mean? And yeah, he's just giving me a chair this time, so it's great. But yeah, no, it's great, and really looking forward to it.
It feels like every time we speak, we're speaking about your opponent changing, and finally, touch wood, this one hasn't, and you've been able to prepare for a full camp for him. How good must that feel to have that only a couple of days out now?
Yeah, well, the opponent didn't change, but this is actually a 140 now. So yeah, it's 10 days out, got the news, but like that doesn't, I was good. I wanted to make the 135, because this is actually the third fight that I haven't fought in a weight class. For the Brazilian was 150. The one after that was 148. He didn't make that, so it was basically 150. And then now this one's 140. So yeah, kind of good. I wanted to see how it'd be. I just wanted to make the weight and on the way, but like that doesn't matter. It's probably everything happens for a reason. Make the 140, say you feel, and a few adjustments for the next one. So I'm feeling good. Like,
was this the first fight you were going down to 135?
Yeah, first fight, yeah.
And what was the decision behind that? You were obviously doing undefeated, doing really well at 145. What was the decision to go down to 135?
A few things. So first of all, I knew I could make it. Back in November 21, I was like getting really light, and I knew I could, I knew I could make it. You know what I mean? And just, obviously, size myself up to other people and stuff. And I wouldn't have been really like that. But again, that would have been the second reason was, I'm fighting a bigger man every time, and like you can see, it's definitely giving away 10 pounds. Especially the catchphrase fights as well. You know what I mean? And I know that the last guy was struggling to make weight, but no one was mentioning that he was fought a welterweight and lightweight, and so. But yeah, like that was the second reason, and obviously then people are throwing at me, you could be fighting this person, that person next, and and I was like, well, those 10 pounds are going to make a massive difference. And then the third reason then was actually I had a conversation with Dan Healy, and just from that conversation was basically just from what I took from it was for longevity, fighting the bigger man is worse than the weight cut. So I'm at a weight class here now. I feel it's fair game. I'm the same size as the guy now. You know what I mean? I'm not giving away height, reach, nothing like that. The way. So some lads cut weight for the advantage. I'm actually just cutting weight for fair game. You know what I mean? So I wish I could fight the bantamweights at 66, but obviously that's not the sport we're in. You know what I mean?
Obviously, when you go down a weight class, you might have an advantage in strength and then maybe a disadvantage in speed. Is that a thing you've thought about it in terms of both of those things and finding the happy medium there?
Yeah, well, that was the thing. I was like, bounce it off John, obviously, and like I was like, oh look, it'd be more like because they're going to be faster and quicker, and obviously my pace and my cardio, that has been the story at featherweight. You know what I mean? But going down the weight class, but he was like, he basically put to me like, you're training with your brother. How many years you're training with, Bragaton on the daily, Franz Malambo, Brian Moore, who's out there going up now, obviously, but like, when you put in that perspective, it was like, yeah, that makes sense, you know what I mean? And always feeling good, and like that, I'm training with the best guys in SPG under John and Dave there, so like, yeah, like that, I put it into perspective, so I was like, yeah, happy days. But of course, like, you have to be aware of that, but as I said, I have the cardio, I have the pace, and yeah, just a few adjustments, and I'm really looking forward to Saturday now at this new weight class.
You mentioned John there, and recently John mentioned yourself and Danny McCormack as well as two of the people he maybe wanted to just bring up a bit and tell people about for the work ethic and where you've come from and where you've reached. How good is it to have something like that and to have John behind you, obviously, and mentioning you as one of the people he's, I suppose, most proud of working with?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Like, I don't know, you actually got a clip of me there. It was Andy. Andy was interviewing John, and I clipped it all up. It was a good, nice little 3-minute video. I didn't get a chance to post around because I actually didn't see it like a month after. But 2021, I think John said like his greatest win as a gym or a whole or that year, his favorite moments was when I bet Jordan Barton here in the Tree Arena, and that was actually really nice to hear. You know what I mean? And it just goes to show John does think of me, and like that, John has given me. I really feel he's put me ahead of what, like, he's really, really looked after me, whether it become the sponsorships or opportunities and everything. I really owe John a lot. You know what I mean? And it's great it is, yeah.
I don't know if you agree with this, but I was saying on the podcast, I believe it's the last fight of your deal here, and you were kind of talking about, maybe potentially if Bellator doesn't re-sign, or it's a kind of influx of Bellator at the moment, that you might have to go to the UFC. I was kind of saying that, the path you're on has been a steady increase, and that it will be, for the kind of future of your career, it might not be detrimental, but it wouldn't be ideal for you to go straight into the UFC. Is that something you think about, kind of building yourself up more and getting yourself more ready, or if the UFC were to call, would you jump straight at the contract?
To be honest, I don't like answering them questions because I have to beat this guy now on Saturday, to be honest. And I'll be honest, I just can't answer that because I don't know what is going on with Bellator. I'm sure most of us don't, and even speaking to the head lads, they don't know themselves. But all I know is if I fight Saturday, I can't really think about anything after that. I mean, I'd rather be 8-0 having that conversation with you than 7-1, So, and that's the way I'm thinking about it. And yeah, it's very, very hard for me to answer that. I think I'm counting my chickens before they hatch. So it's hard to answer that. I'm sorry, yeah.
Take one from online here, Mills.
Hey, how's it going? It's MMA Locker Room, part of Pub Sports Radio. How you doing today, mate?
All's good. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, man. Just a question, man. You guys got your whole team pretty much fighting on this card, so I need to know. I think the crowd's going to be the loudest when you walk out, but who's going to be able to get that second loudest ovation out of your team, out of your camp that's going to be walking out with you guys this week?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Hopefully we've all been getting the wins and building the crowd up until that point. And I think I'm at a right spot in the crowd for myself to have a good roar, and I'm bringing 200 plus as usual from Drogheda. So it's hard to say. Dara Kelly's a good following. And obviously then I think, it's hard to not mention it, but I think if Peter Queally, comes out to the zombie, I mean, everybody's going to get behind that. And actually, each time I watch that entrance, to actually get the history behind that, the commentary did a great job that time. And I think it was, I think maybe Peter, I'd say, yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Sorry, boys. Thank you.